Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Nino Brown Boxing, I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Man, if you know Nino Brown Boxing, you know him from the DMV. You know Jarrett Hurd is my guy. Now, with that being said, Jarrett Hurd has a very respectable opponent coming up May 11th, happening in the DMV. To be more specific, it will be at Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia. Jarrett Hurd is fighting Julian J-Rock Williams, Philadelphia's own. And this is going to be a great fight. I feel like this fight is going to be very electrifying. I feel like we're going to see a side of Julian Williams that we've never seen before. I feel like we're going to see a side of Julian Williams where he brings out all the dog that he has, all the technical ability that he has. Just, you're going to see flashes of Julian Williams in this fight that will make you believe he can potentially beat anyone in and around that division. I truly believe it. But, yes, it's definitely a but. But I don't see it. I don't see it at all, him beating Jarrett Hurd. I see it being a very close and entertaining fight while it lasts. But I don't think Julian Williams can outlast Jarrett Hurd. To me, Jarrett Hurd is a very disciplined guy. People always talk about his size. People talk about his weight. Some people like to label him as a weight bully. If you don't know my whole perspective on that, I feel like if you can make the weight, you're not a weight bully. If you're not missing weight, you're not a weight bully. If you don't have to weigh in multiple times on the day of the weigh-in, you're not a weight bully. It's really as simple as that. If we want guys to fight at their walking around weight, then, well, make the fight same day weigh-ins. They're either going to fight drained or they're going to fight at a weight class when they're at peak condition. It'll just be at the fighter's discretion. But all of that weight bully stuff aside, to me, Jarrett Hurd has too much dog in him. Jarrett Hurd is a great inside fighter. Jarrett Hurd has a wonderful right hand, and he knows how to fight at the distance as well. Obviously, we know that Jarrett Hurd isn't the most technically sound guy out there, but he has the will to win. Jarrett Hurd just has it in him, and I don't see anyone at 154 knocking Jarrett Hurd off at this point in time or in the near future or shit, even in the far future. I feel like Jarrett Hurd doesn't necessarily get fully challenged until he moves up to middleweight, and even with that, you know, when you're not considering such a dramatic weight cut, I don't know, man. To me, side by side, Jarrett Hurd and Andre Ward, the size difference isn't that big. I mean, Jarrett Hurd is a younger guy. I think Jarrett Hurd's a year younger than me, so he's like 28. He's 6'1". He weighs at 154. I'm sure all season he walks around from anywhere from 175 all the way up to 190. It depends. Me and him were definitely around the same size. I can't even see how the hell he makes 154. I know I couldn't do it. And he's taller than me. So, all that aside, Jarrett Hurd has the will to win, and he's a great inside fighter. But it's another area of Jarrett Hurd's fight game that people don't talk about. Jarrett Hurd is a wonderful counterpuncher on the inside, and that's how he dominated a lot of his opponents earlier on in his career. I never forget one of the first Jarrett Hurd fights I saw on PBC, when before the hair, before the brown hair, before the blonde hair, before the dangling dread, all that stuff, before any of that, when it was just regular old DMV Jarrett out there, he ended the fight. Or I don't know if he ended the fight that way, or all I remember, it was a beautiful counter uppercut. And it's like one of the first memories of a Jarrett Hurd fight that like was ingrained in my brain. And I went back, and the setup was so beautiful. Yeah, I understand that it was against lesser opposition. I get it. I definitely understand that. But just the technique of it shows me that Jarrett Hurd has a lot more wrinkles to his game that he's leading everyone to believe. I mean, Jarrett Hurd is one of those guys where he's highly critical of himself. And I feel like the people that develop the best in their craft are the ones that are openly able to accept criticism speak on their flaws, and they put the work in to correct it. And I know for a fact that's something that Jarrett Hurd is definitely doing. So when it comes to this fight against Julian Williams, it's going to be a very entertaining fight come May 11th. Both guys are going to put out the best version of themselves, but Jarrett Hurd will ultimately come out victorious. Now, Jarrett Hurd getting past J-Rock definitely puts Jarrett Hurd top 5 pound for pound. I mean, you're assuming he beats J-Rock. He already beat Lara. He beat Austin Trout. He beat Tony Harrison. And then just considering the state of his division, the level of competition that he's had back to back to back, injury, had a tune-up, and back in the tough competition once again. I mean, you have people in the division that have – the only person in Jarrett Hurd division that truly has fought the level of competition on a consistent basis is Austin Trout. And the only difference between Austin Trout and Jarrett Hurd – I mean, the two differences between Austin Trout and Jarrett Hurd is Jarrett Hurd beat Austin Trout, and Austin Trout has lost a lot of those other fights. That's the only difference when it comes to resume and when it comes to level of competition. Lara hasn't fought that level of competition. J-Rock hasn't. Charlo hasn't. Jaime Munguia hasn't. Tony Harrison hasn't. Erickson Lubin hasn't. Like, whatever guy that you want to throw out there, they haven't done that. It's just been Austin Trout and Jarrett Hurd. Those are the only guys. And it seemed like it just seems to me that it only makes sense to put Jarrett Hurd in the pound for pound discussion. I understand the politics to go on in sport, but you can't become pound for pound, de facto pound for pound, because guys are ducking you. You actually have to go out there and earn it. And that's what Jarrett Hurd has been doing, and he'll continue to do. And we just got to tune in May 11th. This Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.